Hello, it's Broski here in the studio in your college, and yeah, Kendra Morris is coming to my college. Yeah, and Maya, thank you, Maya. Thank you, Maya.
You're so very welcome.
I
see videos.
so happy. Yes. Whoa.
Kendra Morris, pal, is only a minute and 4 seconds. Is that supposed to be?
Kendra Morris. I've been following her on Twitter ever since the Concrete Ways Out video came out. I've just been following her.
That's awesome.
Concrete Way.
I discovered her.
Thank you, YouTube, for hooking me up with her.
Yes, thank you, YouTube. That's what I discovered her too.
Exactly.
YouTube.
What would we do without YouTube?
So,
Now we got some new artists. Without YouTube, she wouldn't get her music. We got her music out because of YouTube, and she's finally got a booking agent, and we have a ton of questions to ask her, and she should be here shortly. She's on the J train right now. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what I'm gonna say to her. I'm gonna be shivering. I'm not shivering. I'm gonna be like ah. So yeah. All right. When she comes here, I'm gonna film again. All right. Peace. I just met Kendra Morris. Woo! She just went to do something real quick, and she's gonna come back and give this a sign. I'm so happy. All right, when she comes back, I'm so happy. THAN. Hello, it's me, Jonathan, and I'm here with the lovely Kendra Morris in the building at my college. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being available. And
Thank you for having me.
yes, I'm so happy to finally meet her in person, and hopefully I get to see her in concert on Saturday.
We're so cute.
Yes, better than getting a fake ID. So better than paying $90. How much money for fake ID nowadays?
And well, and you can. There's ways that you could tell. There are so many ways.
Sorry, this is out of the blue, but yeah. So
What is that? A Zoom?
it's Bloggy. I usually take this for vlogs on my I have a YouTube channel, so I do vlog. Just an autograph. Yeah.
I love Sharpies.
I was panicking because I didn't have a Sharpie. I have a Sharpie at home that I always use to, like, if I go to concerts, I have somebody sign with this one Sharpie that I have all the time.
I love the smell of them.
Hey, don't
I smell everything. Go away. And then through that, like, it's kind of like the song almost. I mean, this might sound cheesy, but it's sort of like the song wrote itself. Like, just sitting there, and I was like, starting to think of like going way back to If You Didn't Go Away, and it ended up being about this person from years ago. You know, I just kind of revisited a relationship that I hadn't thought about in a long time, and it just sort of started. I started building the track, and I think that when you're honest about anything, there's no such thing as going wrong. I mean, you have to be careful of not hurting people, and there's ways to go about honesty with keeping another person's feelings in mind. But with the honesty of that song, it took going back to some feelings I hadn't really dealt with in a long time, and someone who just kept, revisiting in my memory, and I just wanted to revisit those feelings. So I just sat and I just kept going through like where I was, like the feelings that I had a long time ago, just bringing them back, because you can bring a feeling back from the dead and put it into a song. And that's kind of how that song came about.
Is that where you were inspired by the video? Because I was watching the video and it was like a dramatic blowout between you and the sky and the desert.
Actually with the video, when I do video, I really am a fan of, I think that a video, like I get really excited about working with different directors and directors that inspire me, because they are, I always let them come up with their own idea. Like I'll say like, oh, I thought of, like, sometimes we'll come up with an idea together, but like with that was an old friend of mine. We actually went to high school together.
Oh, I knew there was something, because you guys had a lot of great chemistry, so I was like.
Well, not the actor I just had met, through a friend. That was a good chemistry then. I had met him just like the day before, but the director I went to high school with,
okay.
Jacob Arden McClure, and I'd been following, he'd been doing film stuff since high school, and I'd been kind of following him, and I loved just the way he uses colors and the way like he's always done different things. And when I sent him the song, you know, I kind of was like, what do you, like, what's coming up to you? Because when you work with a different director, you know, I feel like when you are working with someone and you give them a certain freedom to be the artist that they want to be, it's going to be the best it can be when you put the trust in someone. And so, you know, that, you know, the whole concept of that actually was from him. So I did my job with, like, the writing, but he did his job with, you know, so.
That's awesome. It's great that you could work with someone that you know. That's always a plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
The relationship ended while I was writing that album, and then it was, I mean, I wrote that album over the course of like a year and a half.
Wow.
So it was the entire span of around the end of the relationship, the breakup of the relationship, and then the getting over the relationship and finding other things to write about. And then there's tracks in there that aren't necessarily about that relationship at all. There's the one that's about something else, a different relationship. Sometimes they're not even about something that, you know, it's weird. Sometimes they'll be about things that I've lived through to some degree, but it's like I almost lived through it later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're kind of setting a path.
That's pretty awesome.
So.
That's pretty awesome. So on your next album, who do you look forward to collaborating with, like, or someone in the future who you want to collab with? Anyone out there?
I have a crush on Jesse Boykin.
Tell me about him.
I just started listening to him. He was on the cover of the latest Wax Poetics.
Okay.
He's just does this like amazing soul thing. Super, just got a good groove.
I gotta check him out.
I love Frank Ocean. I remember getting my hands on. My hands on his stuff, on his first mixtape. I was in Detroit doing the tour with Dennis Coffey and my friend Chris Peters, who I feel like is always up on music. He was like, listen to Frank Ocean. He's awesome. Like these are his mixtapes, and I was just like, this is so good. And I went and like downloaded all his mixtapes, and I'm a big fan of Frank Ocean.
I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of yours too.
Man.
Pretty sure. Okay, guys. So before we continue, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna play "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond." So before we go, can you tell us how it was working with that song, since it's a cover song? So how was it recording?
Jeremy and I had actually both been listening to a lot of Pink Floyd at the time. I was listening to a lot of Dark Side of the Moon, and he had been listening to a lot. He's a huge fan of Pink Floyd as well, and we'd done Wicked Games first, and the original way we'd done Wicked Games, the Chris Isaac cover, was it was like a mashup of Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and Wicked Games, and we were jokingly calling it Dark Side of Wicked Games. And then we were just like, we had passed it around, like my publishers had heard it, and like the guys at Wax had heard it, and we're like, let's tackle a Pink Floyd song. Like we're both such, like, we respect them so much. And so, you know, I'd been listening a lot to Shine on You, Crazy Diamond, and we decided that was the one we wanted to tackle. It's such an incredible song.
Yeah, and you did an awesome job.
Thanks.
Not a lot of people can like.
I get I get nervous, you know. It's exciting, but it's also like when you take these songs that have meant so much to so many people, and these songs that come from such a delicate place, and really, you know, like every song comes from its own delicate place, but even just the story about that song, and you know, that it was about Syd Barrett and how he had just kind of lost his mind, and when you're taking something like that and then you're performing your own version of it, you know, I think it's really, really important to keep the respect in it for the previous artist. I think it's important to bring your own twist to it because it's putting a new life into something, and it's important to bring your artistry to it. That's what makes a cover so great. Right. But it's also scary, like, you know, you obviously, like, there will always be a hater. I can't please everybody.
Right.
Like that's just the way it's gonna be.
Everyone
But
motivates us.
I try really, really hard to, you know, stick to my guns and not, you know, like, let's do this and this, you know, like, it's not about, like, showing my muscles or, like, how, it's just finding your way to say, like, this is a beautiful song, I respect this, and help to add to it in some way, you know.
That's awesome. Okay, guys, well, let's hear it. Just let me know if they're in or if they're out to you. It's not really your thing or in between. How do you feel about John Mayer? In or out?
I've never really out.
Out. John
I
Mayer's
think
out.
no, he's good, but he's not in my rotation. I think he's very talented, writes great songs. But
What about Maroon 5?
I think he's a great songwriter.
Yes, I love
I think
Adam Levine.
he's a very talented man. He has an awesome voice. I love that. I remember hearing that sticks and stones and a brick. I think he's a very talented man. And he's not so hard on the eyes.
What about Joss Stone? Is she in or is she out? Even though we haven't really heard from her as much.
You know, I remember hearing her when she did that song with the Roots when she first started out, and I was like, who is that? She's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't thought about her in a while. I was actually I have thought about her. I was like, what's she been up to?
What about Usher? How do you feel about Usher?
I like Usher. I like early Usher.
Yeah.
I love 90s R&B. Genuine, why isn't he coming back?
Oh, I know. I said
love
the
him.
same thing. I said the same thing. I said the same thing the other day.
Although I've heard that D'Angelo has been making a comeback.
Yes, he is. He is.
Good. He is someone.
I think his cover on GQ magazine.
No.
He looks amazing.
I'm so glad that he's like coming back out on top because
Mhm.
he's such a talented man. Like
Right.
I love R. Kelly.
Yes.
He is a genius. That man. I would love to collaborate with him. Dream collaboration. You asked me that earlier. I would love to do
R. Kelly.
something with R. Kelly.
I'm pretty sure you can make it happen.
I want him to be trapped in his closet.
R. Kelly, I hope you're listening. You and Kendra, trapped in a closet. Okay, Kendra, our show's coming to an end, but can you tell us? I know. Hopefully she'll come back. Where can we find your music, or you know?
It's pretty easy to find. You can find it iTunes, on Amazon, on my website. I do collages in my spare time. And I sell the posters on my website, and I send them from my house. You can sign them all. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora.
Kendra Morris.
You can find me on your street. I was walking last night. I was walking, going to grab dinner with a friend, and later I got locked out of my apartment and tweeted about it, and this guy started writing back, and then he's like, speaking of like, because I said I was a stunt double, he goes, speaking of a stunt double, I saw your double walk by me at Rockwood Music Hall. I'm like, what did she look like? He's like, I don't know. I was like, was she wearing a fur coat? And he's like, maybe. She might have been wearing a hat. And I was like, that was me. I was my stunt double. I totally walked by there.
Aww,
I thought that was funny.
that's so cute.
I felt embarrassed though they saw me because I was super dumpy, like, just like, had no makeup on, was really hungry for meatballs.
The real the better. Okay, guys, you can also check out this interview on incheckurban.webs.com. It's also going to be on SoundCloud. Just type in.
Special gift. Where is it?
Oh, you guys are
Some flowers.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
It's only right.
Thank you so
for
much.
coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you.
These are going up in my apartment.
You're listening to YT Better, the voice of today's generation. I'm Maya Jones, your host, and Incheck Urban is out.
Yes.
Yay.
Hello, it's me, Broski here with my wolf hat on. Just came home from York College, And I'm so happy today because I met Kendra Morris, the beautiful Kendra Morris. She is so lovely, she's so chill, and I love her music. That's what I could say as far. It was a pleasure talking to her. The interview went very well. I had a lot of questions to ask too, so yeah, if everybody goes to York, or anybody who's listening or by the video, just check out the podcast and you could hear the whole interview. I just took like snippets of the interview on video, but if you want to hear the whole podcast, then go over there on the website. I don't know what's it's under, but I will link you to it. I'll link you to the podcast, so it'll be in the description. So yeah. Furthermore, I got to talk to her, and she signed my vinyl copy of her album for me. It says, "Jonathan, thank you so much for being sugary on my bowl of cereal. You have been a huge support, and I'm glad to have finally met you." XOXO. And her signature's on the bottom. Hell yeah. You're welcome, Kendra. Nice little twist there. She kind of altered it a little bit. She did her own thing. But thank you for stopping by, Kendra Morris. Love you, and hope to see you in concert soon. Yeah, that's about it. So this is Jonathan aka Broski signing out. Later, guys. Peace out.